I had been excited to attend my sister-in-law Vanessa's wedding. After years of family gatherings, holidays, and shared memories, I thought this day would be a joyful celebration. A chance to connect, dress up, and witness my brother marry the woman he loved. I had bought a beautiful dress, arranged my hair carefully, and even brought a thoughtful gift for the newlyweds. Nothing, however, could have prepared me for the humiliation that awaited. The wedding venue was stunning. Crystal chandeliers, white flowers cascading from every corner, and elegant tables lined with fine linens. Guests mingled, laughter and chatter filling the air as the ceremony began. Everything seemed perfect, until I noticed the name tags being handed out for the reception seating. I assumed it was a simple organizational detail, assigning guests to tables based on family and friends. When I picked up mine, my heart dropped. The tag in my hand read, "Housekeeper." I froze. My mind refused to process it at first. A cruel joke, surely. Someone had made a mistake. But as I looked around, I noticed the smirks, the stifled giggles, and then, finally, the person responsible. Vanessa's mother-in-law. She stood near the entrance, her posture proud, her eyes glinting with amusement. "You see," she said, loud enough for a few nearby guests to hear, "you're just a servant. This wedding is for family, not for people like you." My stomach churned. The words cut deeper than I expected. My brother's future mother-in-law, a woman I had always tried to respect and get along with, had publicly reduced me to nothing more than a servant. All the years of familial kindness, support, and good intentions were erased in a single moment of cruelty. I felt a rush of anger, humiliation, and disbelief. How could someone be so cruel in front of a room full of witnesses? I could feel the eyes of other guests on me, some sympathetic, some indifferent, and a few quietly amused. But I knew one thing. I could not let her diminish me. Not here. Not now. I forced myself to take a deep breath and approach her. "I think there's been a mistake," I said, my voice steady despite the racing of my heart. "I'm family. I don't belong with the staff," she laughed, a cold, sharp sound that made my blood boil. "Family? You? No, dear. Family sits at the table. You, however, you serve." Her words were meant to humiliate, to assert dominance and remind me of my supposed place. But instead of crumbling, I felt something ignite within me. I refused to retreat. I refused to let her define my worth. I turned my gaze around the room, making eye contact with guests who might be watching, and I smiled. Not a submissive smile, but a calm, confident one. With quiet composure, I decided to reclaim my dignity. I set the name tag aside and walked toward the main seating area. I did not demand a seat. I did not shout or accuse. Instead, I walked with the quiet authority of someone who knew her value. People noticed. Whispers followed. But my confidence seemed to ripple through the room, subtly shifting the dynamics. Vanessa, busy with her bridal party, noticed me and approached. "What happened?" she asked, genuinely concerned. I explained, carefully, the insult and the public humiliation. Her face fell. "I can't believe she did that," she said softly. "I'll fix it." By the time dinner began, I had secured a place at one of the tables, among actual family and friends, not the staff section. The smirk on her MIL's face faltered slightly, replaced with irritation and confusion as I engaged with other guests, sharing stories, laughing, and demonstrating that I belonged just as much as anyone else. My presence, composed and unshakable, became a quiet rebuke to the insult, an unspoken reminder that respect is earned, not granted by hierarchy or status. Throughout the night, I maintained my dignity. I danced when invited, toasted the newlyweds, and shared heartfelt words of love and support for my brother. Guests approached me, some offering congratulations, others whispering their admiration for the way I handled the humiliation. I realized that the power of composure, the strength of grace under fire, and the courage to assert oneself quietly can speak louder than any confrontation. By the end of the evening, the wedding had transformed in my eyes. What was meant to be a day of celebration for Vanessa and her family had also become a day of personal triumph. I had faced public humiliation and turned it into an opportunity to assert my worth, to demonstrate strength, and to quietly demand respect without raising my voice. As the night concluded, I walked outside reflecting on the events. The incident with Vanessa's mother-in-law had left a scar, but it also revealed something essential. No one has the power to define your value unless you allow them to. The folding of a name tag, the smirk, the attempt to reduce me, these were all fleeting gestures of control. My composure, presence, and confidence were enduring. In the days and weeks that followed, I found a new sense of self-assurance. Family gatherings, once intimidating or fraught with unspoken hierarchies, became opportunities to navigate relationships with confidence and grace. I had learned that dignity is not given. It is carried, defended, and displayed in every interaction, even when others attempt to strip it away. Looking back, that wedding, with its beautiful flowers, grand hall, and sparkling chandeliers, was more than a celebration of marriage. It was a turning point in my life, a lesson in resilience, courage, and the quiet power of standing tall in the face of humiliation. Vanessa's mother-in-law may have intended to embarrass me, but instead, she provided a catalyst for me to assert my dignity, reclaim my self-respect, and redefine my place in the family. On my own terms, by the time I left the venue that night, I understood something profoundly important. No name tag, no insult, no hierarchical smirk could ever diminish the person I knew myself to be. And from that moment on, I carried that understanding with me into every interaction, every gathering, and every challenge that came my way.